Hey guys, welcome to Juicy Tea, where I read out the best stories on Reddit, so you don't have to. The funny, shocking, and satisfyingly juicy. I'd be divorcing my husband too if he tried this on me. Posted by Short But Sweet 77. Dear Prudence, I got married just before Christmas, and I'm hoping to be divorced or annulled by the end of January. Obviously, that wasn't the plan originally, but I never cared about getting married, but I wasn't opposed to it. So when my boyfriend proposed in 2020, we decided to go for it. We each took on about half the responsibility for organising the wedding, but I think I was pretty reasonable about compromise when he really wanted something. My only hard and fast rule was that he would not rub cake in my face at the reception. Being a reasonable man who knows me well, he didn't. Instead, he grabbed me by the back of my head and shoved my head down into it. It was planned since the cake was destroyed, and he had a bunch of cupcakes as backup. I left, and the next day I told him we were done, and I'm standing by that. The thing is that over the holidays, everyone has gotten together to tell me I should give him a second chance. That I'm just overreacting because of my issues. I'm very claustrophobic after a car accident years ago, and I absolutely panicked at being shoved into a cake and held there. That I love him, even though right now I don't feel that at all. That he loves me, and that means not giving up at the first hurdle. I don't want to, but everyone is so united and confident in their assurance that I'm making a terrible mistake that I'm starting to wonder if they're right. Give him till February? Dear till February, everyone's sure you're making a mistake, but they're not the ones who have to wake up every day with a man whose behaviour massively turns them off. You are. So you only have to listen to yourself. I think what he did was a massive red flag about not respecting you and your wishes, to say nothing of the physical aggression. But even if it wasn't, the fact that you really didn't like it is enough. Make a mental note about which of your loved ones don't seem to value your happiness, and continue with your divorce. Down in the comments, OP says, she asked for one thing and he couldn't respect that, and it wasn't a spur of the moment thing either. Corazar says, and very few people realise how dangerous this is. Most fancy cakes contain skewers that are hidden to support the weight of the higher tiers. You can literally kill someone by smashing their face into a cake, especially with enough force to destroy the cake. Yeah, I would have called the cops on the day. Am I wrong for leaving my own wedding because my husband embarrassed me? Trigger warning for assault and abuse. Posted by Mindless Charge 5996. I, 27 female, and my husband, 29 male, have been together for 3 years. In those 3 years, I've never known him to be selfish. Occasionally immature, yes, but even that was rare. These problems arose when those stupid cake smashing videos got popular, and my husband thought they were hilarious. I never thought they were funny, and he knows that. Yet he was always showing me the videos of those poor wives getting the happiest day of their life ruined by some arsehole partner for some cheap laughs. He also knows I have a history with cake smashing. My family does the cake smashing thing. I remember it was my 17th birthday and I pleaded with my mum to not do it. She promised and I trusted her. I had my hair and makeup done up all nice, and right as I blew out my candles, my mum shoved my head into the cake. And one of the decorations on the cake ended up slicing my forehead. Not enough to go to the hospital, but enough for some substantial bleeding. My birthday was ruined, and after that, I wouldn't come out of my bedroom. My mum still calls me a brat for that. I told him if he ever did something like that to me, I'd leave him. He started laughing, but I was being for real, though he was really not taking me seriously. Now, skip to a few days ago when my wedding happened. Everything was perfect. I was happy, he was happy, we were excited for our new lives as newlyweds. I felt like a princess in my puffy white dress and my hair all done up with perfect makeup. All very expensive things I'd like to mention. We get to the cake cutting part, and as I turn to him, he scoops up a huge chunk of our wedding cake and smashes it all over my face. Everything just seemed to go into slow motion for a few moments. He's just laughing at me. And then says, "You should see your face," and continues to laugh. Other people in the crowd, mostly my family, is also laughing at me. Then I just start walking away. He realizes that I'm leaving and tries to catch up with me, and says I'm being extra. I push him away and I order an Uber. As I got outside, most of the crowd is following me, telling me to come back. I get into the Uber and drive away. I drove to our apartment and packed most of my things and went to stay at a hotel. I'm currently staying at a friend's house. My family and his family has been blowing up my phone for days, saying I'm being childish and my husband's a good man and it was just a joke. My husband's been calling me off the hook, telling me to please come home and that he wants to talk, that he's sorry and he didn't think I'd get that emotional. This was supposed to be the happiest day of our lives, and he embarrassed me in front of everyone for some prank he knew I hated. Not only that, he ruined a $500 cake. He ruined my makeup, my hair, the top of my dress. The cake got all over it. Though, I do still love him, and I'm wondering if I'm really being too hard on him. That seems to be everyone else's opinion. So, am I wrong? Update. I decided to speak with him bright and early this morning. I'm leaving him. Some of you might be happy about that, and some of you might not be. I decided to call him and get his reasoning as to why he did what he did. He told me he just thought it'd be a funny prank, and if it happened at the wedding on a happy day, that he could change my mind. Plus, since it was a tradition in my family that I wasn't following, he thought he could get points with my family. Then, he told me he's sorry that I took it as disrespect. I told him he shouldn't be saying that he's sorry I took it that way. He should be apologizing for hurting me. Where's the I'm sorry? I told him he hasn't apologized with accountability once. All his apologies have been backhanded. I also reminded him that I didn't have a good relationship with most of my family, nor my mother, who he forced me to invite. I told him he knew that I was already the black sheep of my family, and the verbal abuse and public humiliation I received from my mother for years really messed me up, and he knew that. Then he says this: why should I have to apologize because you can't take a joke? I blew up at him. I told him, are you serious? If it was me who hurt you to this degree, the first thing I'd do is apologize. Why can't you even force yourself to be decent for a few seconds just to apologize to me? I also told him that him trying to get in good with my family, who abused me by publicly humiliating me, that is something that is unforgivable. Marriage means you stick by me, yet you've shown that you obviously do not. It's not about you ruining my dress, or my hair, or even the cake. It's about how you knew how I felt about this, the trauma I had connected, and you didn't care. Then he tried doubling down and saying it wasn't his fault for not apologizing because my family was telling him how dramatic I was and how I was hurting them by leaving the wedding for a joke. He said he loves me and he doesn't want to break up over this nonsense and that I should just come home. I told him I'm not coming home and it's not even about the cake anymore. It's because I can't be with a man who won't apologize when he's wrong and who gaslights a significant other into receiving the blame. He started cursing me out at this point, but after about a minute of hearing him scream at me, I hung up. I guess he started telling my family because within half an hour, my phone was blowing up again. The worst ones had to be from my mother and his sister. My mother was telling me that I'm going to end up alone because I can't take jokes and I'll never be able to keep a man with my attitude. Even saying that my clock is running out fast and when it did, no one will want to marry me and I'll be alone. His sister was telling me that I'm a disgusting B-word for hurting her brother and wasting his time. That she wishes that he'd broken up with me 2 years ago when he first wanted to. So, now I know he wanted to break up with me. What I also know is that he was cheating on me for 6 months with his ex, who wanted him back, but then she dropped him because he stayed with me. The thing is, I had a good relationship with his sister, and she knew he was cheating on me? I guess she put everything out on the table since I was leaving anyway. I blocked most of my family, and I blocked all of his. I also blocked him, and I'm getting the annulment. My friend said I could stay with her for a few months, till I get back on my feet, and I told her I really appreciate it. So yeah, that's the end. I'm crying while typing this. I wasted 3 years on a man who never really cared about me. I've lost what little relationship I had with my family, and now I only have a few friends I've been blessed with. I'm going to have to pick up the rest of my stuff. I also told him before I blocked him if he broke anything of mine, I'd bring it to court. Update. I haven't got my stuff back from my ex yet. I just haven't had the energy because I'm still extremely upset. Obviously. From the videos online to the comments I received on my original post, kind of made me think that there was probably a lot of red flags, and I was just used to being abused, so the bare minimum was enough for me. After speaking about it with my friend, she said that he definitely had a lot of red flags, and she even told me I should stay away from dating until I can get some help because I was obviously not seeing the red flags right in front of me. I'm not going to get into it, but sometimes I'd have to cook 2 dinners for my ex because he didn't like everything I cooked. His mum apparently didn't get him used to vegetables, so he wouldn't eat them. He also made fun of my cramps on my period. That's some of what I was referring to when I said he was immature. I unblocked him just to tell him I was going to come over in a few days to get my stuff, and if he could just not be there, I'd leave my keys. He said fine, and that was it. So he's not going to be there when I get the rest of my belongings. I'll also bring a friend with me just in case he does do something. I'm still not speaking to my family, and I think I'm just going to go no contact like people suggested. I saw a video from a woman speaking about me, and someone in the comments said I was groomed into this treatment, which is why he felt it was okay to do this. Maybe she's right. When I get my financials in order, I think I'll try therapy, and wait a few years before attempting to date anyone again. How is cake smashing still a thing? No one likes it, except for the terrible husbands apparently. Like, are these guys mad that their bride is happy and feeling beautiful, so they just have to tear her down? I don't get it. Can someone please enlighten me? Remember, I post new content every day, so subscribe for more juicy tea.